So we are back from Dino's. It was a wild weekend following SEMA week, but a little hectic, but we're back to normal operation. Dino's was killer. There's rumors all over the place, but I heard 5,400 trucks, including all the vendor trucks. So that's pretty crazy, and we look forward to doing it again next year. We look forward again to doing it next year. Deeves. You got that? If you see the camera shaking, that's Brian laughing at me. Anyway, so we had a killer time. Lots of people came by, said, hey, got merchandise, so that's cool. But let's get into this one video. Oh, you want to see some Dino's footage? Brian, roll that Dino's footage.
Get down, baby.
And we're back. So, like I said, we're back at the shop, back to kind of normal. We're running through some employees right now. So one's gone, a new one's here doing a trial, and then next week we have another new one doing a trial. So hopefully you'll see some new faces around here. But speaking of new faces, this is an old face. This is Rob Lane's truck. This has been here for 6 or 7 months or so, but it is done. I actually just got off the phone with him and told him he can come pick it up. We've got a little over 200 miles on it. He lives here locally, so I'm okay with 200 miles. We've done a nut and bolt check on it, and basically the way that we work something like this when it's local is we'll let him take it with about 200 miles on it, but we want it back somewhere between 500 and 1,000 miles to do another routine checkup on it and maybe change out fluids at that point. But I'll skip a lot of details on this truck because we have a new video coming out focusing just on this truck. A wrap video should be out in a week or two after this video. If you want to see more details on this truck, subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications bell, and you won't miss that video. Let's go over here. So this is David's 55. It is a 55, even though it has a 58, 59 fleet side bed on it. We had this one at Dino's as well, missing some glass, which James from State 48 is supposed to bring over right now. So we gotta get these door panels pulled off, get the glass in there, regulators are already in there and stuff, but we need to get the wing windows, the roll-up windows, and then little stuff like LED license plate lights and mount the license plate. And then this thing will go to tuning. And you'll see a full video on this when it's wrapped up. Speaking of tuning, Wendell's all red OBS is over at Speed Sports, and we should be getting that back anytime now. As soon as we get that back, we'll send this. So we had that there, then Wendell's, then this. But the shop is a little bare right now because we have projects being picked up like that. And then we just finished a square body we'll show you in a minute. And then Frank has a bunch of them, but we've got two here, which everybody's seen before, but just little updates. This is Chris's truck. Exhaust is now done. The ABS power brakes module is mounted underneath. Transmission cooler is mounted, breather catch can for the engine's mounted, and I think all we have left to do on this is a couple hard lines for the brakes and radiator lines. I think that one's ready to go to powder coat after that. Then we have Marlon's truck. Again, almost wrapped up with this one. We're fixing some gapping issues around the tailgate and the bed sides. And then this has a CVT in it right now, and everybody knows you get rid of the C of the CVT. So we've got to mount the compressors, and then we probably won't rebuild the tank until it's ready to come apart and go out to powder coat. So we do want to mount the compressors first, make sure they're in a good spot. And then once the back end's finished, that one will be over at Frank's. And then we just moved Manny's truck over to this side of the shop. We're gonna get going on this. We've already pulled off, this is an LS7. It had a pretty cool billet intake manifold on it, but he wanted to add a supercharger. So we got Don Hardy, set us up with the 3-liter Whipple and the Wagner pulley setup. And it actually clears the hood, even though it doesn't look like it. But with the supercharger in there now, firewall doesn't make sense. So we're gonna pull out this firewall. Luckily it's only welded in around the trans tunnel. So we're gonna pull out this firewall, build all new, build our inner fender wells, wheel tubs, whatever you wanna call them, get the radiator in, build a closeout panel for this, and kind of just make a nice pretty underhood engine compartment for this thing. Then we'll turn our attention to everything else. This one's gonna be here for a while. This is gonna be a big project that we're just now getting started on. Let's see what's on the other side. For the open house, we spun the Bronco around so everybody could see Coyote engine under the hood. But I thought we were gonna be ready to go on that one. We're actually on a holding pattern until after the other two sell at Barrett-Jackson. So Tray 5 storage is in full effect. I thought we were just storing it until we were ready to work on it, but now they don't wanna move on it until the other two sell at Barrett. So the blue one and the green one that we built, green one was at Sema, blue one was done a month or two before Sema. Both of those are going to Barrett-Jackson. As soon as they sell, then we'll get on that. Pio's truck, which I don't think we've shown a ton on this channel. It was recently bodyworked and put in primer. I think he wants to sell everything but the body now. So if anybody's looking for a rolling chassis, it's KP Components back half. It's Chris Dalston, which is kind of the same company as KP Components, but it's their front drop member. Rebuilt small block 400 with a Phytech on it, and he built 180-degree headers for the engine. So the headers actually zigzag and crossover around the oil pan and the front cross member. So he wants to just leave the engine, leave the transmission, leave the brakes, the wheels and tires, everything on it, and sell it as a complete package. Yeah, if you want a chassis with a rebuilt engine and transmission and exhaust and gas tank and AccuAir and the whole deal, hit up Pio, it's for sale. We talked about this in the last video, but in case you missed it, we'll give you a short rundown. This truck came out here from Maine, I think. This is Chris Kratos' truck, and both of these are Chris Kratos' truck. So this is actually a running, driving truck, and you can see it's kind of stacked to the roof with parts inside. But then we're gonna put this GSI chassis underneath it. The paint's gonna stay how it is. We'll do engine compartment and bed, wheel tubs, that type of thing, lay the truck out. Built 6-liter engine for it. It's got like the old school engine look. So it's got small block Chevy valve covers, small block Chevy air cleaner, the hidden LS3 throttle body. That's from LS Classics, or I think it's Low Car's the parent company, but the adapter is from, the adapter for the valve covers and for the throttle body, the factory LS3 throttle body is all from LS Classics. And then we have an all-American billet pulley setup on it. 22-inch shot wheels, cover lock series, so you don't see the lug nuts. That thing's gonna be pretty rad when it's all said and done. This is Olin's Dodge. I don't know anything else about it other than it's Olin's Dodge. It's got some cool dimple-dyed seats in there. Messing around with putting a rag top in it. It's got a Dodge engine, Chrysler engine out of a motorhome. I drew up all the rear suspension for them. It's kind of a design that we've used in the past. And then the three of us kind of came up with this front suspension. It was kind of an idea that I think Olin had seen somewhere. And then Pio tried drawing something up for it. And then I stepped in and finalized it. And it's kind of neat because you just have like the little tiny slam bags that only get like 6 inches of lift, but they're mounted back on this arm. So you get some leverage there for some more lift. But then they're also mounted on this with a little bit of leverage. So a bag that only gets 6 inches of lift or however many inches of lift it gets will actually get this thing 10, 11 inches off the ground. So he's got to get the front end on it, radiator and grill and all that, and then figure out shock placement. But it's cool to see it sitting on the ground finally. He's been working on it for a long time, just staying after work a couple days and coming in on the weekends and doing his own thing on it. That's kind of it right now. This is a cool time of year for us. We'll get back into regular programming here after the holidays and really start cranking on stuff. But for now, there's your bi-monthly or bi-weekly, every other week. Let's call it every other week for save some confusion in the YouTube land. But like I said earlier, pay attention to the channel. We'll have a wrap-up video on Rob Lane's square body here soon. We've already filmed it. We'll wrap this up this weekend, Brian? Are we posting this Friday? We're posting this Friday? Posting this Friday. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later. Bye.